I'm not strong. I haven't been doing arm day. We're
rolling! We should hit the road so we make it in time for our on-site, off-beach, on the beach, on the something the beach. What are we doing on the beach side?
I'm the fastest man alive. I'm the fastest man alive. One more time.
It's hot in here.
It's hot in here. I was giving you your moment.
Oh, sorry.
We don't need to drive a truck through it. Eric, how many times do you think I've told a bad guy that it's over? Especially when it's not over, but... It's over, Fiddler. Or maybe it's not, but... Harley's gonna take the engine.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
Your badge just fell off.
Harley? The camera's not even on.
I know, but he's gonna turn around. We're gonna leave at the end of this. I don't know. Harley's gonna get the engine.
He can't even keep his badge on.
And pays you all $250,000 each in compensation.
What?
You said you told me the money. I'm just like, it's so good, Andy. I'm sorry.
They have the same jitters order.
Officer Chemist is
What's happening?
There's a helicopter.
There's a helicopter.
Barry Allen's the Flash.
Officer Chemist
They have the same jitters order. Are you kidding me?
There's gonna be bloopers from this scene.
Yeah.
So he just be disappearing like that. Like,
He just once in a while.
Right, I get it.
This is all good for the roll at 120 frames.
It's your boys.
What's up?
It's time we focus on survival.
Felt it coming. Okay.
There are hundreds of sentinels.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry.
There are hundreds of sentinels out there.
No one else is laughing.
Should we go back a little bit?
Yeah, we know. We do too.
I know.
Trust us.
There are hundreds of sentinels out there.
We got it. We got it.
There are hundreds of sentinels out there.
That's why we need your help more than ever. Wait, you came back too?
It's just temporary. I can only intervene when the multiverse is in danger.
I think you missed me.
Let's go kick some ass.
Did we just become best friends? Yeah.
Where am I going? I don't know where I'm going. Let's go rehearsal.
Mosquito, sorry. Like, I don't have to see him bite me on the forehead. I'm like, it's been lingering this whole time.
Oh, sorry, I can't. You got a mosquito. Sorry.
I felt it.
It's my birthday.
Out of here. They're everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
There's
everywhere.
2 on your head.
Wow.
Is this normal for January?
No. What's happening?
I'm like paranoid about it now. I like feel ghost mosquitoes.
Like my shoulder itches. It's like they didn't get me there.
There you go. You got it.
I really did get it.
Okay, great.
I'm just keeping them entertained.
This is how you choose scenery. Fire! City's on fire!
Flames? Flames?
Fire flames! Okay.
I hope you choke on that drink, you. Oops, CW.
One more time.
Oh my god. Eopard? Eopard Thon?
Sorry.
It's not your name, is it? Sorry. When Grammy Cecile's called Cecile's?
Laura?
When Grammy Cecile calls from 25 years. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a thing now.
You know this is your last shot ever. Laura? Oh my god.
I like it. It's really weirdly relaxing. Like a baby and a Bjorn thing.
Hello, everyone.
Gotta run. Mercer's gonna be right on time.
that is it for that intro. Actually, I started running it because I wasn't sure if Paigey was going to be here on time. But he's here. Maybe he's here. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I haven't heard him yet. So, are you present and accounted for? There we go. That's the sound we all love. So, yeah, multi-topic talk, a member for 22 months. Good to see you. You can watch it on playback. Everybody else, welcome to the stream. So we got 3 things that I want to talk about today and a few other things. We're going to try and squeeze it all into like an hour and a half or whatever. Paigey, what are you eating?
Oh, sorry. One of those minty things. You get them in that down under box. Yeah, just one of those.
Oh. Actually, I don't have any. I mean, I have my snack boxes over here, but I don't have anything good, really.
By the way, that gave me the shits the other week.
What?
Chopper Chop.
The what? The
Chopper Chop. That's how you pronounce it. Not Chupa Chup or whatever you're saying.
Oh, you're talking about the lollies, right?
The lollipops, yeah. Chopper Chop.
Yeah.
Not
I've never
Chupa
had
Chup.
them before. I got them like I believe they came as an accident on our order because we order our groceries online. So I think it came as an accident. And I was like, okay, I'll keep them.
I thought they didn't have those in America.
I mean, maybe that's how they got into my order. Maybe they were just like shipped to the wrong department.
I think they're in like Australia and England and like South America and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe.
No one calls it because you have a Chopper Chop. You don't have a lollipop, you have a Chopper Chop.
They're really good though. I've almost finished the bag. I only have
The best flavor is let me have a look. What flavor is that? Because
okay, we have you have
cola.
Cola.
Okay, cola's a goat one. I like cola.
Strawberry frazis.
What?
How do you pronounce it? Strawberry.
It's usually strawberry, isn't it? Unless it's like the one that's like got the cream on it. It's like the creamy version of it.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Orange, which I think
Orange
is really
is
good.
good.
Watermelon is good. And oh no, there's strawberry. Oh, okay, so there's 2 different ones.
Yeah,
There's
there's like
regular
a
strawberry
creamy
and there's the
one.
cream strawberry.
Yeah, and a normal one. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the flavors we have in there. So there we go. So yeah, they're pretty good. I want to the Echo stuff did like I know you're not watching Marvel. By the way, What If season 2 I thought was really good. I know you
Funnily enough, I'll probably watch Echo because it's all dropping at once.
Right. So
I just hate that it's for me, I feel like literally most of these Disney Plus shows just drag you on for the sake of it and they slap you in the face at the end of it.
I'll probably talk about Echo on Saturday, so I'll give people some time to like watch the whole thing. I think it's like 5 episodes, so it's not a huge time. It's like less than 5 hours, I think. So we'll talk about that on Saturday if you're going to watch it because it's that's almost just like a couple of movies.
Is it just me or is Eric's mic like fading in and out? You might need to.
Is it? Yeah,
too far I think it's doing that auto adjustment thing.
It shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. Let me double check.
I know. I just want to make sure I'm not tweaking.
Let me see. I'll open up my settings for this. I haven't changed anything. Is it still doing it?
No, you're good now. You sound good now.
Oh, maybe it was just too far away from me.
You don't sound good, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Thank you. Wait, maybe is it on the wrong audio? It might be on the wrong audio.
I think it's coming from your mic. It's just I think it was doing that thing where it like
testing. Okay. Yeah, I mean over here on StreamYard it sounds good. So
yeah, it's good. I'll let you know. I'll say Eric, you're an idiot. Or something. Well, actually, no, that's a common phrase. I don't know. So like Banana-rama or something if it stuffs up again.
I have the app open, so if it starts screwing around. There is a firmware update, so maybe it's not firm.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's the problem. It's not
soft.
firm.
It's not firm. Yeah.
It's soft.
It
needs to be firm.
But you need the firmware. Yeah.
Yeah, I need it to be firm. That's the only way it works.
By the way, have you watched that Saltburn movie?
No, it's in our like list of things to watch, but
okay. No, I watched it last night. Because it's on Prime Video. I didn't realize it was on Prime already.
We have 4 movies we're going to try and watch this week. That's one of them. The other one is a movie called A Haunting in Venice.
Oh yeah,
watch that one. There's another one called what was it? The Creator, the Gareth.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about that one. I don't know if I might eventually watch it when it hits something. But...
Let me tell you, by the way, I mean, it looks great visually and everything, but nowhere around here was really playing it. So, I mean, it didn't have a lot of screens on it, I don't think. Plus, didn't it come out during the strike and everything, I believe? So
yeah, I can't remember when. I think it was either right. It might have been right at the beginning of the Actors one, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyway, those are some of the movies we have. And Saltburn is one of the ones we're going to watch. We just watched tonight a movie called Quiz Lady, with Sandra Oh and Aquafina and Will Ferrell.
yeah.
It's like a joke. It's a movie about like Jeopardy, but it's a joke or whatever. We are watching a really good show on Netflix called The Brother Son, I think is the name of it.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty interesting.
Hold on, I'll send you this. So because I asked my sister because I thought she might have watched it because it's got the guy from Euphoria and she's into that show. So I was like, oh, okay, let me ask my sister if she's seen it. I'll send you the text thread. Just get your reaction.
Oh my gosh.
Where are you on DMs? There.
All right, hold on.
You might get a laugh out of it, I don't know. Especially the end bit.
It's a bit gay too. You know what I've heard? Okay, so in terms of that, I've heard that it's not as gay as I guess people thought it was.
No, it's like
just
subtle gay. If anything, it's like it's more. It's like obsessive. It's like it's just like it's not really. If anything, if it's like it could be like potentially like fake gay.
Right,
but I don't know.
right.
Like I don't know. It's just sort of like you understand when you watch it.
I'm not totally sure either.
I really like the first half of it. I wasn't the biggest fan of the second half just because I thought it was really predictable. I think the movie thinks it's smarter than it is. You know, it's one of those movies where, oh, this happens. I won't say what, but I could predict it. But Jordan, that Society of the Snow is my favorite. That's 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. So good.
Yeah,
that movie's. I recommend that movie on Netflix.
So before we listen to the Jonathan Majors clip, I think there was like a 6-minute clip that Good Morning America uploaded. I don't know if it's going to get flagged or not on the channel.
It's news. Oh, I guess they still would if they.
I mean, they could. They could. I don't know if they will. We're going to talk about all the Star Wars stuff kind of in a nutshell. I'm not going to really specifically target people, but we'll talk about all the drama around that because I have a few opinions about it, and you know, I've been talking about it on social media, but we're going to talk about it here as well. But before we talk about that, I want to just go over these reactions to Echo because they did drop some reactions. We'll use everybody's favorite site, Screen Rant, because they kind of compiled all the tweets. Saves me the time having to go through and do it. I know, you know, where's Ben when you need him? Anyway, so we're gonna go through and look at some of these reactions because I've only seen a couple of them, but it seems like people are liking it because it feels like the Netflix shows, like the 4 Netflix shows. Actually 5, you count Punisher, I guess, with that. But yeah, so they're saying that it's very much like that, which is what Marvel's Spotlight is going to be. So I'm looking forward to it. But let's just kind of go through and see, you know, where they are with like the people's responses to it here. So we have Molly Freeman, who says Marvel's Echo starts off slow. Most of the first episode is essentially a prologue, but it quickly improves from there with breathless fight scenes and a stunningly unique voice. Echo is one of Marvel's best Disney Plus offerings in a long time. So I think the reason I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think the reason they dropped it all at once is because it is still in that old style of like, because you know they're trying to get away from that, right? They're getting proper showrunners and all of that stuff. They're trying to get away from the way the other shows were done, because I think maybe you had said this or someone else said this, that a lot of the Marvel shows, they kind of don't stick the landing in the mid part of the seasons because it feels just like they're trying to draw out. It should have been a movie sometimes.
Yeah, they're not structuring it like a show. They're structuring it like a movie and then just split into X amount of parts or whatever it is. But they'll save an entire third act just for the finale. So some of those episodes leading up to the finale can be really lackluster and empty.
I do think that's why, you know, essentially you're right though. I mean, because they didn't have proper showrunners. I forgot about that.
I thought they did, but they had a head writer, and I just thought that was the weird term they were using for showrunner. No, they just had a person who was the head writer, just like you have a head writer or just a writer for a movie.
Right.
So I just assumed that was their term of using showrunner, but no, they just didn't have showrunner. So when that was revealed, everyone was like, "Well, no wonder all these shows are so outside of a handful." Pretty much their first few that came out.
It's almost like really they just got lucky with some of the shows, because if you think about it, maybe the directors were coming in and thinking about it being a TV show, but movie directors don't always understand, like, episodic television.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Let's see what else is said here. We have Rob Key says, watch the first 3 episodes of Marvel's Echo. It does some unexpected things, but I'm not sold yet until I see the whole 5-episode season.
Why wouldn't they just give them all the episodes if it's dropping all at once anyway?
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Seeing Wilson Fisk and Daredevil back is awesome, and the series mostly fits the old Daredevil universe. I'm happy it's a binge drop. I think that, it's funny, a lot of people were trying to clown it for being a binge drop, but I actually think that's a proper thing to do, to be honest, at this point. It's only 5 episodes. Why spread it out over 5 weeks?
Well, the thing is, you're more likely to get as many viewers watching the last episode, or get as close to it as you can, watching the last episode as they did with the first one, in a binge, than dropping it over X amount of weeks, however long it would have been.
Yeah, let's see what else we got here. K-Site TV. Oh gosh, haven't seen them in forever. Echo drops on Disney Plus tomorrow, and the first episode delivers a tragic backstory while delivering justice to the character. I do believe if the first episode does feel like a prologue or like a backstory, that's probably why, again, they're dropping all of these episodes. Because if they would have released that as the first episode and it doesn't satisfy you, and you don't have that second episode to follow it up, it doesn't make sense to put out 3 episodes and then wait 2 weeks to put out the other 2. So again, just kind of sort of goes again what we're saying here. I really enjoy what I've seen of Echo so far. It's an intimate and grounded story that feels like Ozark or Son of Anarchy. Oh, Son of Anarchy. That would be really good. MCU twist. The action is top notch and feels like it's a continuation of the Marvel Netflix show, while also picking up where Hawkeye left off. That's a pretty interesting blend, because Hawkeye was nothing like the Netflix shows. Like, a lot of people did not like Hawkeye, and I think for me it's a forgettable series. I liked it, but it's not in my top end of the Marvel shows. So to say this blends Hawkeye with the Netflix shows, like, how does that even cross over? They're so vastly different, honestly. Weird. We got Big Bang Theory, Sheldor with $2 super chat. Kingpin being street level, Thanos is great. So I think that Kingpin, this version of Vincent D'Onofrio, even though he's still got me blocked on Twitter, his version of Kingpin is goated. I don't know if they could have, to be clear, I don't know if they would have found anybody that could do what he did. And coming off of you could argue Charlie Cox is literally Daredevil, but I feel like they could have gotten away with the recasting of Daredevil. I don't know if they would have been able to do it with Kingpin. He's just too good in the role, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thank you for the super chat.
I'm just looking at that article on the side there. They've made an article about AI. Using AI as the source for the article. Can you see it there? The top one on trending now.
Friends cast me a Pixar star. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
she's one of the AI engines.
Yeah, obviously. Echo is a brutal, unflinching, relentless. Alaquia Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio bring a level of rawness and depth to the MCU.
How do you pronounce the name? Is it like?
I think it's Alaquia.
Alakua.
Yeah, I hope I get it right. I actually tried to find a pronunciation for it quickly before we started, so I wouldn't get it wrong, because I usually try to make sure I get that right. I'll check it out again, unless somebody in the chat can tell me exactly how it's pronounced. I'll figure it out before the weekend, though, if I can't, because yeah, it's a unique name. It's storytelling and intricate and captivating, while the action is rich and ruthless, making it the first must watch of 2024. I mean, we're only 8 days.
Alaqua.
We're 8 days in. Sorry. Echo, the Hollywood Handle. Remember, like, last year we were like, well, who was the Hollywood Handle? It kind of came out of nowhere. Now it's reporting stuff like it's discussing film or something. It's really funny. Echo is the MCU like you've never seen before. It's bloody, action-packed, frightening. Alaquia Cox. So it's Alaquia. We confirm that? Is that confirmed?
Someone said Alaqua. Alaqua.
Alaqua Cox. All right, got it.
Alaqua. Allah.
Yeah.
Alaqua.
Let's see. Alaqua. Well, I can't even pronounce
that's it.
lollipops properly.
Is that like Allah, like the prophet? No, that's Muhammad.
No, I was gonna say I can't even pronounce the name of these fucking lollipops. Like, what do you expect from me?
Yeah, Chip was a dark time for you, Eric.
Some plot moments could have been better developed, but this show is honestly a true winner. So I'm guessing the length of it is probably one of the issues when they're talking about plot. Seems so far I'm just kind of looking through here. Awesome show, delivers on every level. So I mean, it seems like most of the reactions are pretty positive, and to be fair, it looked really good for me, like, anyway, when we started seeing like more come out about it. Because a lot of people are like, well, who wants an Echo show? Who cares about Echo? And now it seems like a lot of people are hyped for it. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm going to watch it all at once. So yeah, we'll talk about it on Saturday. But I don't know. Chat, you guys excited about Echo? Who's watching it this week?
When does it come out?
I think it comes out Wednesday. Well, Tuesday morning, Wednesday, 12 o'clock on tomorrow night, my time. So, well, not
okay,
my
so
time,
over 24
West
hours
Coast
from now.
Yeah, a little over 24 hours. So, well, to be fair, the negative stuff that I saw was more like prior to the show coming out. So, but we'll see.
It's probably going to be. I don't think it's going to be amazing, and I am basing off the trailer. But if it gives people that Netflix Daredevil or Netflix Universe feel, they'll probably be fine with it. I don't know if it's going to rewrite them.
Look, it's going to suck for me because I've got 5 gigs a week now, so I'm DJing 5 nights a week. So it's going to be really tough for me to squeeze stuff in. Like tonight and Thursday are the only nights I have off now. The only ones. Like I don't have any more nights.
Eric, this is where time management comes in. So wake up.
But yeah, so we'll be live here on Monday. Then I'll do my other channel on Thursday, and then we'll do the after party on Saturday. So, Sheldor with the Shell super chat goes, it's 9 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so it is on Tuesday. That's weird. Normally it's a Wednesday, but I do remember them saying something about it coming out like a weird day of the week. I do not love Scott Buck. Do you want an Iron Fist recast if he comes back? It's a tough question. I like Finn Jones. I think he's a fine actor. I think that first season sort of tainted him though, right? Because I think he was really good in the Defenders series when he was paired up with Power Man, Luke Cage. And I found him to be more bearable there, but by himself it was a little bit rough. And then the second season of Iron Fist with the Daughters of the Dragons being set up, and I like that storyline. I love Misty Knight. Loved all of that. Colleen was great. I don't know if I necessarily want Iron Fist to come back right away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I do. I think he could really nail it, but the problem is that first season was so bad. I don't know. What about you? Did you watch the Iron Fist show at all? Or no?
I watched parts of season 1. I think I watched like the first few episodes, and then I just tapped out.
Yeah. What about Punisher? I think he was the perfect Punisher. I didn't really like the second season as much as the first season.
I liked season 1, then I only watched like half of season 2, and I wasn't enjoying
season
it,
2 was not great. But I wouldn't mind him coming back. Look, I wouldn't mind all of the Netflix characters coming back. I really like Jessica Jones as well, and I know some people didn't like that third season, which I admit was a little weird. But Jessica Jones, for me, has the best soundtrack of any of the Marvel TV shows. I love that jazzy New York vibe that the first couple seasons had. So just for that alone, I'd be like, yeah, come back and give me some of that music. That would be cool. All right, so should we get into the Jonathan Majors stuff? Do that. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll get that out of the way. I want to get all the stuff out of the way that we'd planned. So here we go. All right, so this is the GMA exclusive, and it's a 6-minute clip. We'll pause it as we go through it here. Hopefully the audio's okay.
I thought it was going to be like a individual special sort of thing they just had. But
you mean like a 60-minute, like hour-long thing?
Yeah, or just like a half-an-hour thing just to put on somewhere. I didn't realize
it seems like it was just a small segment on Good Morning America.
I didn't realize it was just like a report within the actual news.
So anyway, we're gonna watch this and sort of pause it or whatever. Let's get into this and we'll see. Look, if you're watching this on playback and this is gone, I apologize. So you need to be here on Mondays when we stream. Here we go.
This has been very, very, very hard and very difficult and confusing in many ways.
Jonathan Majors breaking his silence just weeks after a Manhattan jury found him guilty of misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment of his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari.
You know what's interesting, though? I think he was also found not guilty of 2 of the charges, right? Wasn't it 2 he was found guilty and 2 not guilty?
It was like it was the 2 that was centered around intent, as if he planned to.
Right. Because they're saying that everything that he's guilty of is stuff that happened in the SUV.
In the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, he did that stuff. Which is but proving intent is like so hard. Like you have to have like a text message saying him messaging his
Well,
saying, "I'm gonna bash her tonight, man." Can't wait.
Apparently, it's really hard to prove a lot of things during criminal trials. It's like you have to do even more.
That's why
to
evidence
prove
is so important, and that's why usually juries take much longer because they have to go over all the evidence again.
Right.
Especially if they're trying to prove intent. So if there's like even like no chance of them proving intent, they'll just chuck it out like, well, we've got no hope of doing this. So let's focus on the other stuff.
Well, Dino Dragon, this is technically the full interview, I believe, because it was only a segment on a show. So by the way, I don't think a 60-minute interview with him would have done him any favors, to be completely honest. Let me see here. Hold on. Let's see.
Hold
on. 111. I'm trying to text my mic because I was trying to see if it's got an issue with the.
I got that murder on the dance floor song stuck in my head.
Why is that making a comeback? Can we please?
It's insult burn. It's insult.
Oh, okay.
Won't spoil when, but you can.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Look forward.
Is the mic? Does it sound okay now? Is it okay now?
Yeah, you're fine. It wasn't stuff before. I don't know why you changed it.
Well, because the lights on the top started doing weird things. So, so yeah, there's two parts. There's another part where he talks about like his time with Megan Good and stuff. We're not going to watch that part. I really.
Is that the bit when he drops Martin Luther King's wife's name again?
No, I think they talk about that in this part.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
he does. So here we go.
The actor, at times emotional.
Sorry. I haven't seen my daughter in a long time.
I want to ask everybody in the chat and paging you too. Do you believe that he's really emotional, or do you think this is acting? I'm just curious. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just wondering what you guys think.
It can be a bit of both.
Yeah.
Like he's probably emotional because like everything that's happened. It's like it's like anything. Like someone that I'll go to one extreme. Like someone that commits a murder, they get sentenced. They're probably still going to be upset because they're going to prison. Even though they did it.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably a mixture of both.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little torn on this one because remember, I mean, this has been a roller coaster, by the way. Like we started out like he was accused of this. We saw like all the evidence and we're like, yeah, he definitely did it. And then we got that thing that came out where the text message that didn't look good for him that his team.
Well, that's
released.
the thing. Whenever I see someone trying to defend Jonathan Majors, I'm like, bro, in the texts, he admits to hitting her. Like he admits to hitting her. So
we had the text message, and then we had that thing. I think it was like 2 or 3 months down the road. We talked about it over on Twitch one night, where it was like that long bit of like evidence that they released, the defense released, where it had like clips from the club and she was dancing, and then he was gone from the house at like 6 a.m. or something like that. I don't remember. It was a bunch of like random bits of evidence that they had right before the trial went to, he went on trial. And then they came back and said that there was some other stuff going on with him where there was that voicemail where he was like, I need you to act like this person and that person because I'm a great man and all that. And I think they showed the clip here in this. So let's get back to this. But it's been a roller coaster ride.
And a lot of it has to do with this situation.
In a split verdict, Majors was found not guilty of 2 other misdemeanors, assault with intent to cause physical injury and aggravated assault.
Okay.
They're saying you didn't intend to injure her, but the result of your recklessness injured her.
Right.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with her heart.
Just not pause it. Sorry.
Did he really say that? Did he really say that? You have to be kidding me. Are you fucking serious? He was reckless with her heart.
I haven't watched this. I'd only seen the opening 15 seconds.
There's no fucking way, right? There's no way. Are you serious right now? He was reckless with her heart.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Somebody's going to take that and turn it into like a AI song with that sample in it, Reckless with the Heart or whatever. Yeah, it does. Look. Daniel says it sounds like love. It does. It does sound like a love song. All right, here we go. Let's try. Let's actually. Yeah, except they'll have to change the words because they use the R slur in it. They'll be, let's get it started. Let's. I
thought your favorite version of the song was the original.
It was not. Do not listen to the album version of "Let's Get It Started." If you value your time, do not listen to that. Here we go.
Not with her body.
Not with her body.
The physical altercation started inside an SUV.
And there's hitting her head when he lifts her into the car.
Text message from another
Which
woman.
would have cut her ear.
Hours later, after Majors placed a 911 call, police found Jabari unconscious.
Whoa, we never. I don't think we ever saw this. Did we ever see this part?
This was posted online. Like, I don't know if it was after the trial. I remember I didn't watch it, but I saw like the what do you call them? Screenshots.
That's
of this
wild.
thing.
I don't think I've
didn't
ever
see the
seen this
actual
one.
footage,
This one
but
was one I hadn't seen yet.
I know it
on
came
the
in.
closet floor in their apartment, as seen in this body camera footage.
You feel that you did anything wrong on the night of March 25th? If you could relive that night.
By the way, pause it.
Yeah,
I can't believe it was that long ago.
Doesn't it feel? We're almost at the year anniversary of this. We're like 2 months out from it.
Because it must have just happened like just after whenever it was. Like, when did Ant-Man come out?
Ant-Man came out the beginning, like literally right before this happened. So
yeah, and then
February.
And then this came out like a couple of weeks after.
I actually think this came out while the movie was still in theaters.
Maybe, but it definitely came out because it went to like the premiere and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was still in some.
I can't believe it was that long ago. I guess last year just flew by.
Yeah. Biggieford says, "You guys have no idea about all the facts on this case. I got it."
Yeah, but I saw
spill the tea. Spill the tea, Biggieford.
Yeah, I saw Biggieford defending straight out of the gate.
I
think I just ripped my pants.
I'm not gonna.
I was just pulling on my shorts and I heard a rip. Hopefully that's not down the middle.
Well,
I can't find a hole.
I mean, if you're packing heat, sometimes I guess that kind of stuff happens, right?
I don't think I ripped them. I think I just on like the edge of the
Put it on your OF. Put it on your OF. Get those subs up.
There's only one of us here with an OnlyFans, and his name is Biggieford.
So here's the deal. I wanted all this to be wrong because back in the beginning, I was all about Jonathan. I was like, this is the next big guy in Hollywood. I think he's gonna kill this Kang role. I said he was I loved him in everything that I'd seen him in. You know, he had multiple movies doing really well at the beginning of.
It has to be probably one of the biggest fumbles.
Which 2023, my bad.
I can't think of a bigger fumble. Actually, there must be one. I mean, because there's people that have fumbled, but they've been older, like they've been like Kevin Spacey or something like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like
the only other person I can think of is someone like Armie Hammer. But once again, he'd already been around for 10 years.
Well, Ezra Miller, right? Ezra Miller fumbled.
Yeah, but Ezra Miller, I think, had
Would you say Ezra Miller was at the level of Jonathan Majors, even though he was cast as the Flash? Would you say?
I think when Ezra Miller was maybe, probably not. I think Jonathan Majors was always higher than anywhere Ezra Miller was.
All right, chat. Look, I'm gonna do a poll right now. I'm curious what everybody thinks. Worst bag fumble, and we're gonna put in a couple choices here. We have Jonathan Majors, because this one's a pretty big one. We have Ezra Miller. Wait, I want to add a third option. Who should we add third?
Armie Hammer.
All right.
Because I think he's the one that's probably most comparable to
all right,
Jonathan Majors.
The poll is started. Feel free to vote on it. I'm curious to see what everybody's going to say. But yeah, look, I was so sad because I thought Jonathan Majors was like the next it person in Hollywood.
Well, that was
I
the
actually
thing.
think he was started out for sure.
I haven't seen Creed 3, and I didn't care for Ant-Man, though I thought he was good in it. Right. But I remember when he was in Lovecraft Country, and he was really good in that. And I was interested to see where he went because he sort of, I think he done like that A24, Last Black Man in San Francisco, I think.
Yeah. He was set up to do a Spike Lee movie. Like he was really all over the place. He was doing the big budget stuff. He was doing like the cool indie stuff. He was doing the artsy stuff. He was doing everything.
Yeah, like he just came out of nowhere. There was like a 3-year period where he did like Last Black Man in San Francisco, and then I think he got Lovecraft Country, or maybe there was another movie in between. And they're just getting gig after gig of like these either like award things or that Devotion, which was like that bad timing because it was just like Top Gun,
Yeah.
but it was set in the World War II. Or was it modern day? Am I thinking of another movie? I can't remember. But that came out around the time of Top Gun, so no, it sort of got.
I mean,
swept under
it's so fucking wild. Like he was set up to probably be in at least another 2 or 3 Marvel movies easily.
Oh,
easily.
Yeah, and then like of course like
he was in Loki season 2,
yeah,
which would have been promoting that as well.
Yeah, Devotion was is it World War II or Korean War? Because they're different.
Well, you've had 2 conflicting things in the chat, so I don't know. Man,
It was
just,
one
all
of
right,
them. A war
let's,
back in the day.
we still got some time on this interview. Let's get through this.
I picked her up. I wouldn't have picked her up. I wouldn't have put her back in the car. I wouldn't have tried to keep her in the car. I would have gotten out that car and ran.
I mean, didn't he run anyway? I think
The
he ran
two
anyway.
met back in 2021 on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
It's hard to believe that's where they met, right? That's wild. That's absolutely wild.
Prosecution has described your relationship with Grace Jabari as tumultuous and abusive. How would you describe that 2-year relationship?
I loved Grace. Our relationship was not healthy, and that began to reveal itself over time.
Before or after he cheated on her? You know what I mean? When did it? Because clearly there was some stuff going on, right? I mean, that's what this whole thing kind of started from. I just look, toxic relationships happen. I've had so many friends in so many bad relationships, and the shit sucks. Like, I've had friends that just fight all the time. Have you ever had those friends where it's like you don't even want to be around them because they're just always arguing and fighting?
Always
like
bickering and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's like some people thrive on that. Some people totally, that's the kind of shit they want. That's the kind of relationship they want. And that's what, I mean, I'm not saying that's him and I'm not saying that's her, but I'm saying that some people do that. So like, if you recognize that some shit is toxic, this is my life advice to everybody because I'm old as fuck. So you should probably listen to me. But if you're in a toxic relationship and it's not your shit, like you don't want to like deal with it, then just move on. Like find somebody else. Like literally it'll be better for you and the other person. And I don't mean like start cheating on them and DMing and sending fucking Snapchats and shit on WhatsApp or whatever you're fucking using. Like seriously, it's not worth it. It really isn't. All right.
Jay.
I was scared. With the red flags, I found that, I use this word, I said, oh, this is dangerous. This is months before the incident. I should have been brave. I should have said, no, this isn't working. And I should have walked away.
So wait. So hold on. He knew that this wasn't working like months before the incident started, is what he's saying. So when they were together, like at the end of 2022, he pretty much was already like I'm not happy. That's really interesting because he stayed together with her through like the premiere of Quantumania and everything. Going out to clubs with her and stuff. I don't know. That seems a little sketch to me.
And I didn't.
Troubling signs in the relationship were revealed when prosecutors presented text messages where Majors expressed suicidal thoughts, saying, "Maybe I'm such a monster and horrible man that I don't deserve."
Yo, what? I didn't know that these were out there. Did you hear anything about this, or was this just from the trial?
I don't know. There was that day that there's like, what was it? It was like 6 pages or 7 pages of text messages came out. So this might have been amongst them. Like that was like, God, that was like what, June, July, or something? That was ages ago.
I heard some people saying, and I hadn't seen this these text messages, but I heard some people saying that these interviews that are coming out are trying to like make him out to be like the victim in the situation. But I want to put this out there, and I said this about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard stuff, and I will always stand by this. When 2 people are in a bad relationship together, both people are responsible for stuff that happens, unless someone is just being physically abusive to someone to the point where they cannot leave the relationship. They don't feel safe leaving the relationship. And we weren't sure if that's where this situation was, because I know there was a lot of stuff that came out about Jonathan after like all of this happened, where they said that this is the kind of person he is and everything. So it's really hard. Domestic disputes that lead to violence are always unfortunate. However, you have to remember that we're not with those people in all of those moments. And when somebody assaults somebody else physically, that's always completely unnecessary and it's wrong. Like, you should never do that. Yelling, screaming, stuff like that, couples do that. I get it. But attacking another person, even if you're like in a relationship with them, that's just not, you shouldn't be doing that shit. And so, like, watching what happened in that SUV with him like shoving her back into the car or whatever, we got to see that moment. Obviously, you know, he did. I don't think he knew it was being recorded, because that was like a street camera, wasn't it?
Like some random security camera. I don't know if it was the city's one or one on like a shop or something like that. Oh, it might have been a traffic camera. I was facing just the road. So
I can tell you right now, I don't know anyone that is physical like that in one moment that isn't like that more than once. If you know what I'm saying. I'm going to put that out there. I'm not saying that this is him. I'm just saying that, like, in relationships, more times than not, if somebody gets to that point where they're physically moving someone or pushing someone around in public, then there probably is some of that going on in the background. So yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. We got a super chat here from Sheldor. He could have been the next Thanos, I think. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what they were setting him up to be. They were doing a multi-movie arc with him that would eventually lead to him with Kang Dynasty. So, you know, be pretty interesting. Yeah, wild. All right, let's continue the video here.
It and should just kill myself.
Were you suicidal?
The ideations of removing myself from situations permanently is a thought that I've had,
why did he like word it as if he was talking in a TikTok video?
Yeah. Young boy.
It's like when they say unalive. You know, I've said that a few times on YouTube as well, because I get in the habit of doing that to make sure that I don't get in trouble, because TikTok is super like paranoid about that stuff. I mean, they have to be, I guess.
I know. Is he religious? Maybe that's why he didn't say suicide.
I don't know.
It's not there anymore. You know, I've done that. I'm doing the work to keep it at bay and make sure it's not there anymore.
Through it all, Major's new girlfriend, actress Megan Good, has remained by his side, even present for our interview.
How would you describe your relationship?
She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta, you know?
I saw this clip.
Okay, so is she going to ask him about those comments made, I guess?
I don't know. Well, God, we're only 3 minutes in. I saw the funniest thing, though.
What did you see? Thanks, Martin, for the 99 cent. Martin just kind of shows up randomly. Thank you.
I saw someone said, like, Jonathan Majors might be the first person in history with a civil rights fetish.
Wait, who said that?
Just some person on Twitter. It had like 10,000, 20,000 likes or something. It was like on the quote tweets with this clip.
Was it? You're talking about because of what he said, like
because he's talking about Martin Luther King's wife.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, people have been clowning him for that comment for a while now. Where is it at? Right here. So it says, next Thanos, he was beaten by ants and got his butt kicked by a man. Thanos went against the Hulk and won. So I want to point out that the absurdity of what was happening, you have to kind of put yourself in that moment. These are giant ants. Do you understand like how powerful an ant is? Like, that's the whole point of Ant-Man, right? I know we're talking about comic book stuff, right? But the absurdity is that ants are extremely powerful in large groups, and when they're giant size, that makes them really powerful. Go read some comics with Ant-Man in it, and you'll understand. I know it's a big joke, but that's kind of the absurdity to it. Which, by the way, that Kang wasn't going to be the final Kang, honestly. Let's see. What was that? I had another one here. No, I don't have it. So, all right, let's finish the video here.
I'm so blessed to have her. You know, the relationship is.
I like Megan Good. I'm curious to how this all. So, question is, do you think that she was she's been like talking to him since like way
She
before.
has to be, because when he went to that initial thing, remember, she was on the plane or whatever, like all those months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't her, then they must have hooked up like as soon as he got
so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that she was probably like they had been talking for a bit before all this. Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't know if they are. I know. I guess we'll
The
find out.
March 2023 incident thrust Major's dating history into the forefront. A Rolling Stone article back in June detailed multiple allegations of abusive behavior.
This was the one that we
dating
talked
back to
about
Major's
when it happened.
relationships in college.
Yeah.
Allegations Majors vehemently denies. His attorneys offered past partners to defend him.
Have you ever had issues with domestic abuse?
I've witnessed it.
I don't know about that. Let's keep going.
But
I don't know if I
never
believe that one.
participated, You know, I mean, I've been smacked up before, you know, but
Wait a minute. So he's witnessed it. He's never participated, but he's been smacked up before. So, I mean, even if you are someone on the receiving end of it, it's more than witnessing. You were a victim of it. You should say that I was a victim of.
Well, no,
that
because
kind
he could be like, you know, it could have been something that necessarily didn't affect him.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if you're a target of abuse, then you're a victim of abuse, right? I mean, that's the way.
Yeah, but if like he hadn't, well, so are you more insinuating like if she was the one that was abusing him?
Well,
like,
no, it was a general question when she asked him about this. Like, if we go back here a little bit, hold on, let me go back to where she said right here.
Defend him.
Have you ever had issues with domestic abuse?
Okay, there we go.
I've witnessed it.
So he says he witnessed it,
but never participated. You know, I mean, I've been smacked up before. You know.
See, he's saying he was a victim of domestic abuse.
So he's saying he's been smacked up,
right?
But that could be like.
I mean, I would just say you're a victim of it then.
But when,
just
like,
say
but
it.
he might have been smacked up by like some random dude. Or
Oh,
something like that.
maybe, but you're
Not
still a
like
victim,
a
though.
partner
You're
or
still a
something.
victim
Or
of it,
a
though.
family
I mean,
member,
yeah. Well, anyway.
But yeah, never exercised it. Those relationships went back to when I was, 21, 22 years old, and I just think, was I a jerk? Was I, a mean guy? And I go, yeah, knowing what I know now, like, oh, severe depression, childhood trauma. I've had very few relationships, so I can gather.
I will say this, when it comes to Hollywood and relationships and stuff, I can't even begin to imagine like how you navigate that space. And I think I mentioned this with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard stuff. Like, how do you? I don't know, like what's real and what's not. You're dating someone else in the industry with you, probably someone who's an actor or a comedian or a singer or something, and they're in this weird space. Like, how do you know what's real and what isn't real?
Well, and it's also even the thing like, like they're probably in the position where they started being a couple, but they're not together that often, because I think I read something else. Oh, it was a couple months ago. It might have been probably was maybe when this trial thing was going on, but they were saying that like either he was constantly going to and from certain places filming, or she was doing it, like because she's based in, I think, England.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
How
so
does
it seems
like that work out?
So like maybe they started their relationship and it wasn't like an actual proper bonding, if you want to put it, and it was more of like a fling.
So
Deanna
says, not trying to defend him, but no one is perfect, or all your exes going to have glowing reviews of your relationship. Well, see,
I think the other thing
I
think they were sort of asking him then was when he was, I think they said when he was like, was it college or specifically like film school or something like that? And
well, he said he was in his 20s, his early 20s. So
yeah, like I think that in that article they bring up the one from like half a year ago or whatever it was, that like they had people that were classmates of his. But the thing is, I think most people can agree with this. Like Jonathan Majors clearly has an ego, but so does like what 80% of people in Hollywood, most likely, at least people in front of the camera.
Email says they've been hit and miss with the Marvel films in the last few years. I know they wanted him to be a great villain, but I don't know if it would have worked out even if he had not been arrested. I don't know. I think he would have been really good. I actually really liked him in Quantumania, and I thought he was pretty good in Loki season 2 as well. But yeah, I don't know. We're almost done with this. Let's see where this goes. We got like a minute left, like a minute and a half.
What situations we're talking about? Yeah, I was not the best boyfriend all the time.
But never hit a woman.
Never hit a woman. My hands have never struck a woman. Ever.
After gaining critical acclaim for
Yeah,
films
it's
like
Last
The
Black
Last
Man in San
Black Man in
Francisco.
San
Yeah.
Francisco,
Oh, that was the name of the movie.
Major John's red-hot career is now seemingly at a standstill.
How are you feeling?
Moments after the verdict, Marvel Studios dropped him. He was set to play the prominent character Kang in upcoming.
By the way, I think they already had like that contingency plan was already ready to go.
Yeah,
it was like a blue or red button. They just had to push whichever one.
I think it was that like him getting charged with a criminal thing means that they don't have to pay him anything. Like he breaches his contract, so they're like, sweet, we don't have to pay anything. Adios amigo. That's not why they waited. Like
because I'm pretty sure he had a
would have
multi-movie contract where they would have had to pay.
Yeah,
him
and it
out
would
if
have
they
been
would've
like
fired him.
he probably had a thing where it was like if they break it on there and they have to pay him X amount, whether it's the entire contract or 50% or whatever it is, which would have been tens of millions of dollars, if not, well, at least tens of millions.
Yeah.
Coming films.
I am Kang!
But despite the possibility of serving time, Majors believes the script for his career is still being written.
So I want to pull this up because I just want an honest question here. Like, how does Ant-Man beat people? What did we expect the outcome to be with Kang versus Ant-Man? If Kang is going to lose,
yeah, but you never know. Maybe
Ant-Man using ants. That's what Ant-Man does.
Yeah, but you never know. Like the Avengers that he beat could have been like the young Avengers.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like, look, let's be realistic here. He was in an Ant-Man movie. He was going to lose to Ant-Man, who's going to be using ants. Like, I understand the idea that he's not very intimidating because of XYZ, but realistically, he was in the Ant-Man movie. What did you expect Ant-Man to pull out a Gatling gun or something? Like, I don't know. I don't know what people expected. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
You think you'll ever work in Hollywood again?
Yeah, I do. I pray I do. But it's God.
Okay, by the way, question: do you think he'll work in Hollywood again? You think?
Oh, 100%. I think we talked about it whenever it was on the after party when someone brought it up. It's like it's just going to be the insurance thing. Like I don't think you're going to get a big thing unless it's like a really influential director. But the thing is, that's probably the only issue with him is that he hasn't worked with a massive director.
Yeah,
like that probably vouch like. You know, and like everyone thought Will Smith wasn't going to work for a few years, but now he's doing Bad Boys 4 because that's his thing. You can't do Bad Boys without Will Smith. Oh no, Bad Boys 5. Sorry, they already did number 4. You can't do Bad Boys without Will Smith.
Yeah, playing God's time.
So it's easy, but
for those who,
you know, with him, it's like one of those things where it's like he'll probably go do a small indie thing like that magazine Dreams, which they've shelved whenever it is.
Yeah.
Like that, it might eventually. Well, they're going to probably have to eventually release it. They made the goddamn thing. And maybe it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you know, and I don't think like what he did isn't enough to end a career and say he shouldn't be doing. He didn't murder anyone. Sure, you know, not a good situation and he should be punished for it. And if he goes to prison, he goes to prison and he does a year.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think it's enough to like say that he
I actually think he's going to get a suspended sentence. That's my.
He will. He'll get it, but and like he'll be like just. He'll be like, and that might be like maybe he focuses on doing something. Maybe he spends that year doing small theater or something like that. But
yeah,
you know, I don't think I think you'll see him. It's just whether there's like how does he get anywhere close to where he was before he fell, or is it like just enough where he can continue doing what he sees as his passion for the rest of his life?
Yeah. So Quindlen here says he blew his own bag. I don't feel bad for him. Sorry. If Disney fired people from Star Wars shows for comments made on Twitter, he should have been on his game to not have any issues. But no. So that's another thing is that a lot of people said that if you are a high profile actor in this position, you don't make these kinds of mistakes. Like these are career-ending mistakes. Even if you're just perceived as being in the wrong, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
You can't make these kinds of mistakes. And like I feel like going to court over this was much bigger than like just making a bad tweet. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of had to play their hand on this one. So let's see what the rest of
the only thing I mentioned, that magazine dreams thing. The only issue with that is that I might be wrong. Jesus Christ, that was a loud motorbike on the road. God, shut the fuck up. I'm 99% sure it's a Disney movie. That's also a Disney movie, but through their like the Fox branch, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
I'm 99% sure it's a Disney movie as well.
Sheldor with $2 super chat. My 27th birthday is next week. Your vids are a gift. Well, thank you so much for being here, Sheldor, and happy early birthday. We're going to be live on, at least I will be live. I don't know if Paige will always be here, but I plan on doing live streams on Saturdays and Mondays. So maybe we'll catch you on your birthday. Thank you.
The thing there, Eon, is they might have had grounds for an arrest, but it's where they have grounds for charging, sending it to court, everything like that. That's the thing from the get-go with the Jonathan Majors one, because we were like, are they really going to send this to court? And I was like, well, they must. They wouldn't do it unless they had the evidence to. So it'd be the same with her.
Yeah. Oh, Lone Wolf says you forgot someone in the poll, Ray Fisher. I think Ray Fisher's is pretty obvious. That was basically him just pulling himself out of the equation. He's the one that said he would never work for Warner Brothers again after all that happened. So, or as long as Walter Hamada's there, is what he said. But we had a comment here from Dino Dragon: having the biggest variant of Kang be in the Ant-Man movie and get beaten so easily ruins the overall King storyline. Look, I'm not going to argue that I thought that it was a bad idea. I said, like, pretty much early on that I think Quantumania should have been a separate movie with Kang and with multiple Avenger level characters. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 should have been something completely different, but they decided to put them together. It was a mistake on Marvel's part, and they suffered for it. I don't necessarily hate the movie. I think the movie is probably a mid movie, but you know,
what, Ant-Man?
Yeah, Ant-Man 3. I think it was just a mid movie, but
it's probably below mid. It's a bit poo-poo.
I don't know. I like it. I like Kang in it. That's primarily why I put it above there. So
you do like Halle Berry's Catwoman. So
I do.
Really,
That's
how
true.
high is the bar?
Let's try to finish this
Say,
video.
look, he's convicted at this point. What would you say? I mean, do you deserve a second chance?
I think I do. I hope other people think that.
During closing.
All right. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the video.
Even though I think he did it, and I think there's enough evidence, I think he deserves a second chance if he, if there's remorse, which it just depends. Actions speak louder than words. Like, the thing is that a lot of the other people that are charged with assault and whatever it is, they end up committing it like 3 or 4 years later anyway. So if he's sweet for X amount of years going forward, then obviously there's a change in character or remorse there.
Almost everybody voted in the poll. 64 votes in there. Jonathan Majors has a 45%.
I mean, heaps of it. Like, Brolin had. I mean, look at Mark Wahlberg. I mean, look at what's that guy's name?
Which one?
He's was in Ferris Bueller. I guess Matthew Broderick. He killed someone in Italy on the road. I think it was Italy or France. Killed someone, and he's fine. Yeah. And the other guy, the guy that plays his tall friend, he just hit someone with his car a couple of months ago, like 2 months ago. He was at the Golden Globes last night accepting an award.
Hollywood really comes down to who you know and how many people can run defense for you. And people that have been in Hollywood for a long time have pretty good buffers.
Look at all the stuff that's coming out now with all like the hip hop side, because that thing was like a big NDA thing or something, that rap. So like you've seen everyone P. Diddy, I think, has probably done some dodgy stuff by the sounds of it because of the amount of people. But then like Jamie Foxx is getting accused of stuff, and
that hit me right here because I love Jamie Foxx. I was like, damn.
Well, no, but now everyone's saying that like the Jamie Foxx thing wasn't real, but the P. Diddy stuff is.
Look, I can't keep up with all of this stuff. It's just
too much.
It's too much. Like, I feel like every day I see something.
Vin Diesel thing, even Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is just full of bullshit. Anyway, let's not even get into that Dino Dragon. I'm not even going to get into the Epstein list. Steigermore with the 499 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, could Ray Fisher be a contender for playing Kang? Have you seen Rebel Moon? I don't want Ray Fisher playing Kang. Look, Ray Fisher did a really solid job as Cyborg, but I have yet to see him in anything other than that where I've been like, he's blowing me away. And Rebel Moon, I don't think he was really good in that at all. I actually think he was one of the worst characters in that movie.
Oh, his movies, that role is like he's introduced, meant to be this like big important part. 10 minutes later, yeeted.
Yeah. I just thought it was like I didn't find it
isn't
very
his fault,
compelling.
I guess. It's the writing, but at the same time, it's like it's made to be this big role, and he dies in like 2 seconds.
Y'all thought he did good in Rebel Moon, really? The chat's defending him. I didn't think he was very
hard
good in Rebel
It's
Moon.
hard to like his character because he's on screen for 10 minutes and then dies. Like
I was like, yeah, I didn't like it at all. I was like, what the fuck is
to
this?
be honest, I think at that point in the movie, my brain had sort of melted because of how bad the movie was.
Yeah.
But
well, you know what? To be fair, he might have more in that like extended version that's coming out. So
Rebel Moon,
yeah, who knows? I don't know.
Longer.
So the next thing I want to talk about is the Star Wars. Have you heard any of the Star Wars drama? Have you been keeping up with this at all?
I saw something. I saw brief bits of it, but I'm not.
Okay.
I don't really care too much about Star Wars.
How big of a Star Wars fan are you? We've talked about this before.
Well, not big. I mean, like I watch. I think I've seen all the Mandalorian. I think I've seen half of the most recent movie. Like when I was younger, I liked it, but that's because I grew up. Like I was in that prime age for those that prequel trilogy thing.
Right.
And like, I haven't seen all of Ahsoka. Did I watch the finale? I can't remember if I did. If I did,
well, so you would say you're like a casual Star Wars fan. You're somebody that
probably below casual, to be completely honest. Because I think even casual is probably watching.
Well, you know what? It doesn't even really matter because I'm going to give you the scenario and then we'll run from there. And I'm curious to see what your opinion is on this because it's kind of a wild thing. So they announced they're going to do another movie with Rey in it from the previous trilogy, and that should come as no surprise because that trilogy made over almost $5 billion for Lucasfilm and Star Wars on a $1 billion budget. So that means it was like it did extremely well for them. Not to mention they've made so much money off of like the theme parks and everything. So it should come as no big surprise. Whether you love Rey or not, whether you love that trilogy or not, it made them money. That's all they care about. They don't care about what I say. They don't care about what any of us say. They don't care about anything from the Chud channels. They don't care about any of that stuff, right? That's not just their thing. So they announced that they hired a director for an upcoming Star Wars movie, which is Charmin Obaid Chinoy. And she's a documentary director primarily. She's done some other stuff, but primarily documentaries. And she's an activist for Pakistan. She's done a lot of movies about. Was that?
Sorry for laughing. I just can't. The TikTok things is like, I dedicate myself to Pakistan. Did you ever see?
No. I don't. I've never seen those. I don't even know if that.
It's like the kids at the school or something.
No. So, but she's done documentaries on like acid attacks on young women and trafficking and stuff like that. A Girl by the River. It was an HBO documentary.
Didn't it win an Oscar or something? Or she won Oscars or something?
She's won lots of awards. But anyway, so she's got this reputation for being a documentary maker, a artsy filmmaker. She's never gone to film school, but it doesn't matter. There are people that I think Christopher Nolan didn't even go to
Quentin
film school.
Tarantino didn't go to film school.
So I don't think that's any I don't think you necessarily have to go to film school to make good movies. It's just about
film school is just a really good way to waste a lot of money if you know what you're doing already.
So all that aside, she gets hired by Disney. I'm assuming they've had many conversations with her and they decided to go with her based on things that we just probably aren't privy to. Because I can't imagine they're going to bring her in and go like, you need to make a Star Wars documentary about the stuff that you've done back in 2012.
To preface, what has she been brought in to do? Is she just
we
brought
don't
in to direct?
That's the thing. We don't really know yet. She's going to direct an upcoming Star Wars movie. We know there's supposed to be a movie about Rey coming out, but I think that's it. I think that's the only thing we know. We don't know anything about, she could be part of that. She could be about another movie. Honestly, there's been very little information and there's so many scoopers out there. I don't know what's real and what isn't real.
Hey, can I stop? Cam, no offense. No, I'm not. That wasn't an intent to offend you.
Oh, you're talking about right here where he says I'm in film school or whatever.
I'll be first in line to the Cam D'Amelio saga of films. Or I don't know how far you're into film school. But let's hope within the next 10 years.
Yeah. So
maybe honestly, I know Cam's a regular.
Yeah, Yeah.
I think
100%.
no, don't interrupt me, please.
You paused. I
DJ
thought you were
Erickson.
done.
No. I was building a bit of a tense mood.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Cam could honestly make after party of the movie. It's been teased. There's obviously that teaser trailer that came out X amount of months ago, whenever it was, about a year ago. Maybe Cam is the one to handle it. We'll wait and see. You'll have to be the one that signs off the rights, though. So
okay,
pen and paper, Cam, pen and paper.
So, so people are confirming this is the Rey movie, but still, we don't know any details about this movie other than Rey and New Jedi Order. Those are the only things I've heard about it. So we have no idea. But I doubt very seriously, and I have to implore you guys in the chat. Do you think they brought her in to make a documentary film about activism? Because that's not what she's going to be doing for Star Wars. You have to understand that's literally not what they would have hired her to
and
do.
even if that was the case, just don't watch it. It's not going to be canon.
But I'm saying, like I don't see any world where that's what they would hire her to do, right?
Yeah.
I can't see that as being a world. So we have to get that out of your mind. That's not the movie that she's making, okay? All of these channels that are going, oh, you know, she's an activist, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. The comments they're pulling up are from like 8 years ago. And let me set the scene for you. She was at a summit for women where they were talking about women in filmmaking, women actresses, directors, producers, things like that, where she talked about making men uncomfortable. And she was talking about a documentary about like acid attacks and honor killings on children, young women, perpetuated by family members like fathers and uncles and things like that. So that was what she was talking about. And they're trying to use that against her now because she's been hired to work on Star Wars. Now, I personally find that to be very fucking offensive because we're talking about real life shit that's going on where she was talking about this in a forum about women versus Star Wars. I don't care how big of a fan you are of any of this stuff, whether it be superheroes or science fiction or whatever, to try and slander someone on YouTube because you don't like that they were promoting women empowerment at a summit for women about stuff that was going on in Pakistan that actually made changes in those communities because you don't like that she's a Star Wars director. That's fucking awful. That's just fucking awful to be. Now, you could totally say, I don't think she would do a good job on the movie. That's absolutely fine if that's how you personally feel. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people going out of their way to like slander and defame this woman who has done so many positive things for the world. I just don't understand why it is, like, as someone who is like, again, casually in the community of Star Wars, I don't want to be aligned with people who attack someone and try to take their words and twist them around and apply them to Star Wars. In 2015, when she was talking about acid attacks and child trafficking, she did not know she would be working on Star Wars in 2024. I just don't understand why that's so hard.
People are taking her quotes from all those years ago, and then putting them in a present context related to Star Wars.
Yes.
Wait, what? I mean, I don't really care, but that's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard.
They're saying that because she's an activist who believes in like,
you know who else was an activist? Steve Irwin. He was the coolest dude ever.
Right. Well, people think of activism as a bad word. I don't know why.
Activism just means you're fighting for something.
Literally, Star Wars is about activism. It's about rebels acting out against the Empire. That is activism. That is literally what Star Wars is at its core.
Right. So, just another question. So, and you might have to be fair here, Eric. I'm not too sure, but it just depends on what the truth is. So, at the first thing they're blowing up about the quotes, did they know about the context of where they were from?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone, I was going to say, if the answer was no anyway, do they know about it now and they're still blowing up about it?
Yeah. Okay, so let me pull this up here. I'm going to show you just something like a little taste of what I'm talking about here. So we have, where's it at here? All right, so this is from, it's probably hard to read. I can't blow this up though because I've got it in the wrong window. I'm going to read it out anyway. It's from the Scoundrels Cantina, which is another account that has been around for a long time and people kind of looked up to. This is what he has to say about this woman who dared to get hired by Lucasfilm. All right. Can we just not do this again? I'm so tired of this franchise and the message, and it nonstop goes out of its way to push. Keep in mind, they haven't pushed anything. They hired her to direct a movie and she says that she's finally happy to be the first woman to direct Star Wars, that she's very excited to do that, right? That's all they've said. Any of the message stuff they're talking about is her activism from years ago. None of that has been brought into like whatever the Star Wars thing is because she hasn't talked about it. Anyway, it goes, what exactly is a new director going to bring to Star Wars that is at least innovative except for more PC crap? Again, we don't know. We haven't seen anything. There's no script leaks, there's no storylines, there's no trailers, there's literally nothing. And they go on to say, I hate to say this, but the new director's comments sound like the same old shit we've seen before, which of nothing comes good. By the way, her comments were about women, young girls being attacked by acid for not getting married, arranged marriage to other family members, honor killings from other family members, like, fathers and uncles and shit like that. That's what her comments were about. I would be more weary of her since she's a pawn of the WEF, the very same people who want us locked down and to eat Z-bugs. I'm not going to get into conspiracy shit. Go back to Pakistan and push for women's right where it actually might be needed instead of now making a 180 turn and directing a bloody Star Wars film that no one ever wanted. Again, $4 billion off of those last 3 movies. Can nothing anymore be made by people who actually care about the lore of the universe? How do we know? How do we know? They won't even listen to what she has to say presently. They just keep going back to these old interviews. It's always about being modern day political crap, which by the way, the original Star Wars was a referendum on a lot of like war stuff that was going on in the world. I definitely should have started a Warhammer 40K channel 8 years ago instead of this train wreck. So this is just one example of the kind of stuff. Like go back to Pakistan. Yeah, I would say that's probably not good to be saying stuff like that. Anyway, my take on this is that I will save my opinions about the upcoming Star Wars movie when we get actual stuff about it. Like, I don't see any reason to proactively comment on that when we don't know anything about the movie other than who's starring in it and the director. I mean, all right, let's talk about some other controversy. And that is Thor jeans. Have you seen this one? Have you heard about this one?
I saw something on Twitter about people blowing up about jeans.
Yeah, apparently Marvel made a mistake when they over-designed these jeans.
Aren't they space jeans?
Yeah. Look, there was a lot of issues with Thor Love and Thunder. There's a lot of problems with that movie. I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours about like mistakes that I think were made in Thor Love and Thunder. However, these pants are not the problem. I actually like these jeans. I'm probably gonna try and make some myself. I think they're really cool. Look, over design is a problem in a lot of costumes and superhero franchises, but these are jeans and they're space jeans. You have to embrace the space jeans. Like, what else do they have? Do they automatically cool you down when you're hot? Do they make you feel warm when you're in the cold? Do they rip like Paige's pants ripped?
Maybe they're like stretchy. They're like tracksuit pants. Like,
right.
But
I don't know. I retweeted this and I was like, okay, all Marvel criticism ends here. I mean, I can't even like, how do you take this seriously? First of all, Thor Love and Thunder was a joke of a movie anyway, from start to finish. So to be mad about the jeans is really kind of silly. I mean, look, he's wearing a fucking t-shirt and a biker jacket, and you're worried about the jeans not looking
like
real
boots or whatever they are. Like,
yeah, like come on, seriously. This is the guy that flies around with the hammer wrapped in Groot's arm.
No, he rode the hammer like a broom, like Harry Potter.
That is true. You're right. Anyway, we have one more small thing we'll cover before we wrap everything up, but Gwendolyn has a good comment here. It says, but did the Tanakh accusation go anywhere? I don't think it did. The stuff that was, I guess it was randomly made about him or something, I believe. You remember that? There was,
well, ironically, it was made by the lady who was a victim of an acid attack.
It was. You're right. You're absolutely right.
She's like jazz musician or something, or like a saxophone player.
Yeah. I don't think that there was. I think the comments were made, but there was nothing that followed that.
It was
up.
in like a newspaper, it was on like a magazine interview or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see Namor return. I think Namor was good.
You're probably waiting for him until like after they bring in Doctor Doom and then they do Illuminati crap.
Yeah, I would say they're probably thinking of something along those lines. Because to be fair, I mean, they're not going to do. I don't think they can do a separate movie with him.
He's owned by Universal, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Namor as a character, like with the Hulk thing, they can't do a movie with him separately, if I remember correctly. So I don't know.
Something. Yeah, I think it's Universal owns him. That's another one.
Darren says Star Wars has to be the most toxic fan base. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I've found that like I'm good being a casual fan of Star Wars, pretty much. McLeod here says that the sequels made a lot of money, yet the older, cynical, and gatekeepish film YouTuber Twitter side of the fandom keeps whining that nobody cares about plots. Whereas the Skywalker High Republic, the OT era is where the real money is. The feelings of joy younger, newer fans of sequels, High Republic don't matter. So my response to that is going to be the same for anything. We're talking about nostalgia. New stuff doesn't need to be made for old people. It doesn't have to be. Can you enjoy it? Yes. But we're talking about new stuff. Everything's not going to be catered to you as you get older. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be very clear that yes, there is content made for an older crowd, but it doesn't have to be. You can make stuff for a younger crowd. I mean, it's absolutely okay to do that because there's a lot of money there. That's why a lot of times when they do like what is it, like 18 to 45 demographic or whatever, that's where the bulk of the money is in that 18 to 45 group of people. So once you're outside of that, like I'm completely dust now at this point. I'm outside of that 45 era, so they don't have to make anything for me anymore, I guess. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, like, to me, with like everyone said, oh, like this is for like an older crowd and stuff like that. It depends what it is specifically, because to me, like I think there's like the rating classification sort of decide that. Like I think if it says it's for ages 15 or up, it could be viewed by someone that's 15 in 1 year, 1 day, or it can be viewed by someone that's 115 in 1 day, whichever it is.
So this is another thing, Dino, and this is not me sort of having a go at you because, you know, you're here in your good spirits all the time. But I think that should be the target of everybody, right? I think we should assume that everyone wants good stories, right?
Do you want my personal opinion? I think Star Wars is the thing that really does have a ceiling in regards to what it can do, because a lot of the times you're probably not dealing with human characters. Right. So it's hard to have any sort of relatability. Oh, I relate to flying in space. Like, it's hard, you know, and if they don't have that thing that seems like it's a bit more grounded, like can you do a grounded Star Wars story?
I mean, Andor was pretty grounded,
but even then, they're still in a goddamn space station, and you know, like it can be hard. Like people want those things where, like, that's people say that's why people like Marvel more than DC, because Marvel's set in the real world or uses real world locations.
Do you think that's true?
Probably, even if it's just something similar. It's like, oh well, man, it's in New York, man. I got a hot dog there once, or something like that.
Do I think the Star Wars drama is gatekeeping? I mean, it depends on how you define gatekeeping, right? So for me, gatekeeping is when you have a community of people who refuse to let other people join in if they don't feel and think the same way they do, or they're considered like newbies or whatever. So yes, there is some gatekeeping within the Star Wars community. I think other people just don't like change. I think there are other people that just don't want things to change, and the old stuff isn't gone. That is for me, like when I watch something new that isn't as good as the stuff that I loved before, I'll just go back and watch the stuff I liked before. That's it. That's the end of it for me. I might make a video, like here, we're commentators on YouTube. So if we watch a movie or watch a TV show, we're going to give our opinion on it, right? And if it's funny enough, we might talk about it more than once. If there's people that are willing to come in and chat about it, we might do a video about it or something. But typically, if there's something that I don't like, I just don't engage with it. And the biggest example of that for me as an Arrowverse channel was Legends of Tomorrow. At a certain point, I wasn't liking Legends of Tomorrow anymore, and I just stopped watching it. I waited to the end of the season, and then I just watched it all at once. So I think that people have to realize, and Canada Graph says it here, a piece of content isn't made for everyone. It just isn't. There's a lot of TV shows that I don't watch. Why would I get mad that somebody is making a TV show for another group of people?
Yeah, it's like getting mad. Oh my god.
Oh no, we're not doing
Pig
another.
got another season. Oh my
yeah,
god.
Peppa Pig, right. Or I'm really mad that they're still making what is it? What's that? NCIS. I don't watch that show. I'm mad they're making NCIS. Can they just make good TV? Can they make good TV about the military? I really want a piece of like material that's good, so they need to stop making NCIS. It's really, it's just, to me, it doesn't compute for me that people get mad that content is made for people that aren't them. A good example is like the DC Hot Wheels. I think it was like a car show or whatever that came on HBO Max. I think it was on HBO Max. Where it's about like race car versions of Batman and Superman and stuff like that. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to watch that. Or Teen Titans Go. I didn't watch Teen Titans Go. I didn't have any interest in that show at all. I know some people love it.
You did watch DC Super Girls High, whatever it was called, the one where they go to high school.
That one was funny. I watched
Whatever
clips of that, but I didn't watch the whole thing. But yes, I remember. So, let's see here. Serenity had a really good comment here. Everything is made for me because I watch whatever. I still have the same kind of films I watched as a kid at age 40, never changed. Look, I'm on the same boat as you. I look at everything through fresh eyes. I will admit, though, that the Percy Jackson show is not really my cup of tea, but I know people that love Percy Jackson have said really good things about that series. And I watched the most recent episode, and I think it's pretty solid, but it's still just not a show made for me. That's okay. I don't. If other people feel the same way, it'll get canceled. But we'll see what happens. Oh, Bat Wheels. That's what it was, Fetman. Bat Wheels. I couldn't remember the name of that, but yes. We have a super chat here from Darren, which, by the way, I'll be joining Darren this Thursday to talk about Aquaman over on his channel. He says, are you too excited for Echo tomorrow? Yes. I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to see what
Before you said you were in mid, you were in the middle, if not dreading.
I didn't say that. No.
I
said
remember,
I am excited.
anyone that was here earlier, back me up. I remember clearly that being
Am I taking the L on that? Did I say mid?
Well,
I didn't mean it so.
I don't know. You can take it as an L. You can just take it as a reality check, whichever way you want.
I'll take it as a W. How about that? Take it as a
W. No, that's a drastic turn.
So, it is what it is. All right. So here's a little bit of like news to go away on.
By the way.
Yeah.
So just quickly, because hopefully you watch it soon, because I want to get your reaction on that Saltburn thing. Did you see something about a scene in a bathtub?
I don't know very much about it, but I did see people talking about a bathtub scene. Yes.
Okay. Without spoiling it, just to anyone that's seen it, there is a scene that is 30,000 times worse than that bathtub scene in the movie. I almost turned it off and vomited. It's disgusting.
Really? Okay.
It is fucked. I was like, that is so fucked. Who thought of that?
Your thoughts on Nora playing Medusa? I didn't think she was very solid. I think she was good, but I don't think she was solid. And part of that had to do with the fact that I think she knew her character wasn't coming back. I think she could have done a lot better. I'd like to see more of that character, but I thought she was okay. There's a little, and I say this again, not as a negative, because you guys know how I feel. I love CW stuff back in the day. It's a kind of a CW quality to Percy Jackson. It doesn't feel as like cinematic as other streaming shows. But this came out today. New Aquaman news just dropped. Lisa Bonet files for divorce from Jason Momoa 18 years after they became a couple. Did you see this?
Yeah, I didn't realize they were. I thought they were already gone. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't think they were still together?
No, I remember it happening a while ago because I think that's why Jason Momoa went midlife crisis. I think that's probably why Aquaman 2 is a half.
Well, it does say they announced they've. It's 2 years after they announced their separation, so there is a little bit to it, but it's actual like divorce now. So
yeah, because Jason Momoa was just like constantly posting about drinking Guinness and playing bass guitar after this happened.
So you think that was him sort of like having a moment after they announced that they were splitting up or something?
I'm pretty sure. I think that was his like midlife crisis after the divorce.
Yeah. See you later, Dino Dragon. Have a good night.
After being split up, let us know.
Yeah. Jasmine says I thought they were already divorced too. Serenity said
I thought as well. I didn't realize it was a split up thing, and now it's a divorce.
Yeah. So but all things must come to an end. The DCEU and then their marriage. So it's all sort of just happens. All right, last bit of news we're going to talk about, and I'm sure Paige is going to do a full video on this, but I just thought I'd mention it here. Hold on, let me make sure I have the right tab open. Where is it at? This is kind of exciting because I can't wait to start talking about some of this stuff again. Superman and Lois returns to production on final season. Finally. We are finally there, everyone. So, Paige, you have to ask you, we're not going to get into any of the details here in this article, but are you concerned about the quality of this season based on all the cuts being made to the show? What do you think?
Maybe, I don't know, because we don't know. Like, they keep saying all these cuts, but like, how much is the cuts? Like, we don't know what the cuts are. If anything, if we don't know if the budget ends up being the same in regards to actually making the show once all the cast members are cut out.
Right.
Like, what if that's the case? Like, I don't know. And I saw them doing like location scouting, and they're still going to like decently sized things and things like that. So I'm more interested to see if like they had plans to do stuff in Metropolis and now it's too expensive to do the city stuff. But then again, they might just do night scenes. Maybe that's a bit cheaper to do. I'm not too sure, but like, and also when it comes to VFX and stuff, they've got it like, this probably won't come out till June, maybe the earliest, but probably July. A lot of people are saying July, based on just how the CW schedule will work. This finishes filming in April. So that means they have 2 to 3 months of post-production to do VFX. Like, a lot of VFX is time. Like, sure, money's going to play into it, but they've already got the deals set up with the VFX studios anyway.
Right.
So, to like all that time to get the VFX done, so that might be a positive there.
I'm a little bit concerned if so. Here's the thing: could we see it fall into like the Supergirl level of special effects, or do you think that's not a chance that that'll happen?
I don't know, but they do it like they use their visual effects in a certain way where like it's like the camera's always moving and stuff like that. Like if you think about the Doomsday fight last season, that camera is like hardly ever still. It's always moving, which allows the VFX to not necessarily be as clean, but also still let them look good at the same time.
Right.
So they probably just do that, and they do it a lot when Superman's flying and everything, unless he's like just meant to be posing. But that's just him on a green screen. There's not much VFX there.
Right. Well, I'm excited, and Cody brings this up. 401 is called The End and the Beginning. So that's kind of interesting as a title. I'm sure you're gonna have theories in your video where you talk about.
My theory is it could, I don't know. You might fall in line. Actually, can I get your theory first?
Okay. So The End and the Beginning, I think it's talking about the move to Metropolis, or like.
So okay. We're way off. We're way off in our theory.
So I think it's the end of what they were doing in the original like 3 seasons, and the beginning of their era in Metropolis. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, we're way off.
Okay, so your theory is going to be different.
Well, mine was like, I thought it was like Human Centipede related. So like that's why I was. So as I said, we're way off. I thought that was like a tease in the villain.
So where's Superman in that Human? Look,
who says it's Superman?
No, not even gonna answer that. Which I want to point out something funny, not related to Superman and Lois, but talking about Superman Legacy. Did you see the response that James Gunn made where he was like that all the Superman Legacy effects are going to be practical, and that he had to clarify it or whatever?
Yeah, because I thought he was talking about the studio Legacy. Which I think they did Stargirl. They did some of the Stargirl ones.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Oh, they did. Because I think
they were showing like people flying around on like strings and going, "This is the Superman Legacy effects" or whatever. So
actually, that's probably what it is, because Superman dies. Superman dies, aka the end, and then the beginning and of the Human Centipede.
Yeah,
I didn't think Saltburn was bad. I really like the first half. I think the first half is like really good. I think the reason I didn't like the second, I still think the second half is okay, but the reason I didn't like the second half as much is because I predicted the ending from halfway through. Like, not even halfway through, like about half an hour in, I predicted the ending. I was like, okay, you can see what sort of happened.
I think that we're going to follow up with that from the end of last. You guys remember how last season ended, right? So I mean, I think we're going to get something like that at the beginning of the season, but I don't think it's going to drag on very long because it isn't a super long season. So
it's only 10 episodes. So.
Yeah. Canada says, I think the end of Clark, he'll be gone for 1 to 2 episodes. Wow. And the beginning of Jordan as Superboy. Okay.
What if it's the beginning of Lois as Superwoman and Ben's clickbait videos up from the past 3 years come to reality?
Maybe.
I think That's never happened, but it'd be
Right.
funny if it eventually finally happened right at the end.
So Lightning Bolt here says, it's funny how it started with Smallville and now it ends with Superman and Lois. I want to point out that this is kind of the end of the era of like the TV that we've been watching for a decade. This is it, because I don't think we're going to see anything like this for a long time, if ever. I think that everything's going to either go to Netflix or something like that. I don't think we'll see superhero shows on network television. What do you think?
Yeah. I do wonder, and I'm probably going to. I wrote down a thing to potentially do a video on it, just a curiosity factor, because we still don't know the fallout from these strikes and how it's going to affect long term these streaming services. And I wonder if we go full circle with this thing. There's been this massive push to go streaming. It's all going to fall apart, and then they go back to network TV. And not just like superhero stuff, but I'm talking about like genre television, because that's the issue with network TV. It's just procedural crime or hospital shows.
Or reality shows. Reality TV.
There's no genre, and that's why the CW was sort of an important network, because it was sort of a big genre. Pretty much every show was a genre show,
and they were offloading that to streaming services. Streaming services were getting like 20 to 23 episode seasons.
Yeah, so, and then people, so that's the thing I'm curious about across the board, not just with like an HBO or a HBO Max or Disney, or sorry, Max or Disney Plus or whatever, but just as a whole, because we could just go full circle and then the last man standing is Netflix. Because I think I sent you that thing, didn't I?
That Where Netflix it was like the most popular streaming service by a lot.
The top 10 on Netflix were all acquired content from other services. That was other content that should be on other services. Like it was like 3 DC movies. I think there was like there was no Marvel stuff because they don't allow that off there. Just all this other stuff, like some Showtime stuff, I think it was.
Speaking of, when does that DC movie come out?
The Crisis one.
Yeah, does that come out tomorrow? Today?
Tomorrow. I don't know if it comes out at midnight your time or sometime tomorrow. It's either tomorrow. It's like within the next 12 hours for you.
Right. So what we'll do is, my plan is on Saturday to talk about Echo and that movie. So if you guys are keen to be here for the after party on Saturday, that's the topics right now.
Okay, can we
massive come out?
I don't know if you want to do a bet in the comments. What are the bets that I've watched Echo by that point?
You better watch it. I don't want to be the only one talking about it. You better watch it.
Is it only 5 episodes?
Yeah, it's just 5 episodes.
Okay, 5. Okay, because I heard the number 5.
Yeah. You can commit to 5 episodes.
That's the funniest thing. Jordan says it's sad shows is that like that number used to be like 23 episodes and stuff like that. Now people are complaining that they're getting shows. They have to wait 2 years.
South Texas Sharks has 30% chance you finish.
Like people have to wait like 2 years to get a show, and then they binge it in a day because it's only 8 episodes.
Right.
Like Stranger Things, that's going to come out. Everyone, I think they just started filming or something for that, and now they're waiting 2 years, 3 years for whatever it's going to be, and then people binge it in 4 hours.
So you're saying that Naomi season 2 is guaranteed? Not saying that. Cody said he's heard that the Crisis movie sucks. Well,
I don't think it's going to be very good, just because they're doing it in a universe that has like 6 movies, and like 3 of the movies are like Batman movies set in like different periods of time or whatever. Or they're just disconnected.
Yeah. How many? So this is my last question for the chat. Are we done with the Crisis stuff? Do people want to see more Crisis so soon? Or are we just like ready to do something different? Because I feel like DC has been doing Crisis. And to be fair, the best one we've had is the Arrowverse one. To be fair.
Well, you know why? It's because people actually cared about it.
Yeah.
That's why. Like you can't just do some big sort of Crisis thing event and then, and people don't care about it. They gotta build some care about it. So that's the major issue around it.
The crossovers, we'll probably do a stream on this soon, and I'll have some other people join in. I feel like each crossover, starting with like the very first like Arrow Flash crossover, and then the ones we got each year after that, some of those as just individual pieces of like cinema, like if you just take them and look at them as like long movies or whatever, are better than a lot of the DCEU movies. Most of them are better than DCEU movies. Even if you take into account the budget of the TV show, right, of a TV series and what they were able to do, a lot of those were better than the movies we got. And it paid off because we got the shows for so long that all those characters were established, they were already set up. All they had to do is like put them together and come up with a story.
With the James Gunn thing, do you think he's going to be able to meld the TV and movie side in a consistent way where all of it works? I don't think he's going to. Mainly because I just think it's incredibly hard.
Look, the reality is that Marvel has decided after like 2.5 years of doing it, almost 3 years of doing it, that it doesn't bring people into the movies, and it might actually hurt the movies.
You've got to like pick and choose. Like maybe like 1 in 4, maybe 5 shows can be like connected to where it's, oh, you have to watch this for the movie.
I actually think it works the other way around. I think it works the other way around. I think taking characters from the movies and giving them shows works better than taking characters from the shows and trying to put them in.
You know why? Because people will know them from the movie. You can put them on a poster. That's why like Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision worked.
And Loki
for the most part worked as well, because like all I know that character from this, that, and the other. So I'll go watch the show because I'm already familiar. It doesn't feel like but then when you reverse it and you got like the Miss Marvel show and then you chuck on the Captain Marvel thing, but people haven't watched the Marvels because they didn't know who she was.
Right.
But then, so
I bet you the Marvels does really well on streaming. I bet you when those numbers come out, it's going to do really well.
Or is it? I guess
it comes out. I think like a week. I think it comes out in a week, actually.
Well, probably, yeah.
So, anyway, we're out of here. Thanks everybody for hanging out. You can see me Thursday on my second channel where we'll be talking about Twitter dump. There's probably edgy topics over there, and then Saturday we'll be back to talk about the Crisis animated movie, which I know Paigey will watch, and hopefully he finishes Echo, so we can talk about that. And then a few other smaller topics probably. But anyway, have a great night, everyone, and we will see you later.